Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Meshwaram. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I would like to welcome all of you for our study of Sri Bhagavad Gita. So we are studying the second chapter. Now, yesterday we discussed till verse number 19. So from 20 onwards we will do today. So let's begin. So we are discussing the signs of the soul right from verse number 13 onwards. We are discussing. I hope, or we can say from 11 onwards. 11 onwards we can see the theme starts. Then now we are in the 20th verse, very famous verse. Again the property or the characteristics of the soul is being described in this particular verse. So in the previous verses also we have seen same thing, same theme, like from 17 we saw, from 16 actually, 16 yesterday we discussed about the seers of the truth or Tattvadarshibhihi. So one who knows the truth means one who has seen the truth, means who understand that there is no permanent existence for the material body, and also there is no change for the soul. So soul is permanent, material body is temporary, right? That is what we have seen in the 16th verse. 17th verse, Krishna speaks about again soul. Soul is indestructible, avinashi, right? And in the 18th verse, Krishna is giving a comparison of the material body and spirit soul. He says, Antavantame ime deha, the material body is perishable, but Nityasyukta sharirinaha, but the soul which is covered by the body, means the soul is eternal. Anashino aprameyasya, the soul is indestructible and also immeasurable. So he said that in the 18th verse. In the 19th verse, then Krishna says that the soul does not kill or get killed. Nayam hanti na hanyate. That's what he said. Now in the 20th verse, Krishna is saying that soul never dies. We will see what he is going to say. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin.
न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्
Nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah.
न्यायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
Ajo nitya shashvadoyam purano.
अजो नित्या शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. Hare Krishna, for the soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Hare Krishna.
So here Krishna says, Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. Means the soul has neither birth nor death at any time. So what is the meaning of that? Soul is not taking birth and soul is not dying also. That means soul is always existing. So what is taking birth and what is dying is our body only, right? So that is the whole science of soul. The soul remains the same. Soul changes the body. Body perishes. Body will die. Body will take birth. Body is dying. So when a child is conceived, from that point onwards, soul is there. That is why the child is having life and consciousness. And when a child is taking birth from the womb of the mother and till he or she dies, soul is with them, with the same body. But when what is happening, when the soul leaves the body is dying. So actually the body is taking birth. Soul is not going through birth or death. Soul is just changing the body only. So there is no birth. So birth means something which is coming for the first, something which is coming, right, for the first time, or we can say which is coming, and dying means going. So such process or such transformation, such things are not happening, or this is not applicable for the soul. Soul is has neither birth or nor death at any time. Nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha. That means he has not come into being or does not come into being and will not come into being. Means this is, soul is never changing. There is no transformation happening for the soul. So there was no time when soul does not exist. There is no time when soul will be or will not be existing also. Means soul is eternal, it is always present, and it is always existing. It's not that coming some taking birth and dying. That's not applicable here. Ajo nityaha shashwado ayam purano. Ajo means unborn, Nitya means eternal, Shashwado means ever existing, means always existing, and Ayam Purano. Purano means the most primeval, or we can say the most primeval means the oldest. So that doesn't mean that soul is getting old, not in that way. Means it is always existing. That is the meaning of it. So Ajo, Nityo, so unborn, eternal, Shashwado, ever existing, Ayam Purano, primeval. Na hanyade hanyamane sharire. Soul is not killed when the body is killed. So body will be killed or dying or natural death or whatever death is happening. It's happening only for the body, but soul is not getting killed. So we have to understand, Srila Prabhupada says here in the purport, soul is not born, but because it takes on a material body, the body takes birth. See, this is what is happening. Soul is not taking birth, but when soul takes on a material body, the body takes birth. And the soul does not take birth there, and the soul does not die. So means both the cases. It will not take birth and does not die. Anything, say Prabhupada says, anything which has birth also has death. That we know, right? Everybody in this world, all of us, have taken birth and we will be dying. But again, what is dying is only body. What has taken birth is only body, but not the soul. Soul is always existing. Soul will change the bodies, but our body is taking birth and dying. This is what is happening. So anything has a birth means it has death also. And because the soul has no birth, there is no past or present or future, means there is no death or whatever. So past, present and future is for the body and the mind, subtle body. So body includes gross body and subtle body, which we have already discussed in detail in the previous sessions. So what this past karma, present karma, future, everything is on those impressions are on the mind actually. And mind is part of our body. Mind is considered to be one of the subtle body, right? So for the soul, if we say there is no past or present or future, it is aloof from all those, and it is completely away, or we can say aloof from all these material things like bodies or gross body or subtle body, whatever. He is eternal and ever existing and primeval. We already discussed that. Eternal means always existing, and primeval means the first, or primeval means it is oldest, we can say. Oldest means it is always there. That is, there is no trace in the history of his coming to being. So that, what is the meaning of it? Is that, so it's not that soul came one year before. Soul came into existence 10 years before, or 100 years before, 1000 years before, 10,000 years before, or 100,000 years before. No, there is no trace in the history. We can't say when the soul came into being, because when Krishna, even we can't, even it's not right to say that Krishna created soul at one point of time. Of course, something has happened, but we can't judge the time because it is always there, eternal. It's an eternal activity, eternal situation. So we don't know, we can't judge, we can't say when we came into being and all. So the meaning is that there is no trace in the history for the soul. So Srila, so one more point we can remember in this regard is that body, what we see, body is undergoing changes, but soul does not change. Soul does not change, we already discussed. Body is going through changes. So what are the changes happening in our body? All of us, there are 6 transformations happening in our body. 6 transformations. Taking birth is the first point. Second is we can say growth phase. Then there is a stage wherein this becomes stagnant, or we can say, like for example, taking birth, growing, and we stay for some time, right? That's the third stage. Fourth is the byproducts, means maybe we are getting children. Fourth, that's the fourth transformation happening for the body. Fifth is the dwindling stage, or we can say the declining stage. We are getting old age, and finally the death. So 6 things: birth, growth, existence, or stay for some time, byproducts, dwindling, and death. The 6 changes are happening for our body. But the soul does not undergo any of these changes. Soul is always there. There is no birth, no death, there is no growth, no dwindling. It's always there. So what is changing is only the body. So this is also something which we have to remember in this regard. Okay. So now let's go to the 21st verse. Srila, again Krishna speaks about the soul only. He is going to tell that what he is going to say. No one can kill the soul. So he is, in the 20th verse he said soul never dies, and 21st verse he is saying that no one can kill the soul. So because of that, Partha, why you are hesitating to participate in the battle? That's what Krishna is asking. So let's recite this verse. Veda vinashinam nityam
Veda vinashinam nityam
ya enam ajam avyayam
ya enam asamavyayam
katam sa purusha partha
kadam sa purusha partha
kam gatayati hantyakam.
kam gatayati handyakam. Translation: O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? Hare Krishna.
So here Krishna is saying, how can a person who knows that soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, immutable? We already discussed this. So Krishna is again saying again explaining the characteristics of the soul, saying that you are thinking that I am going to kill somebody in the battle. So why you are thinking that way? Because soul, nobody can kill the soul. Soul is indestructible, it's eternal, unborn. So like that. So nobody can kill or can cause anyone to kill also in that way. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport a few points here. In the Manu Samhita is one of the scripture called as law book for mankind. It is supported that a murderer should be condemned to death so that in his next life he will not have to suffer for the great sin he has committed. Therefore, the king's punishment of hanging a murderer is actually beneficial. So, I believe this we have already discussed in the first chapter about the same theme. So, Prabhupada is quoting from Manu Samhita, saying that a murderer can be killed because whatever sins he would have acquired, if he is getting death sentence punishment, actually his sin is getting neutralized, or whatever sin he has committed, the reactions he is at one time by when he is being killed or sentenced, then he is actually coming out from the reactions basically, because the killing is the greatest punishment. So once if he is killed, means his that particular sin which he had committed, or whatever sins he had committed for that particular, he has already gone through. So it's beneficial for that person, so that he is free from that particular sin. That's the point. So king's punishment of hanging a murderer is beneficial for the person actually. So Prabhupada says, similarly, when Krishna orders fighting, Krishna is an authority. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It must be concluded that violence is for supreme justice. So this war is not just it's not for anything else. It is just for re-establishing the dharma. So here for the supreme justice, some violence has to be performed, right? And thus Arjuna should follow the instruction Krishna is giving the authority, knowing well that such violence committed in the act of fighting for Krishna is not violence at all, because at any rate the man, or rather the soul, cannot be killed. So for the administration of justice, so-called violence is permitted. So Prabhupada is mentioning very clearly that to maintain the dharma, to establish the dharma, for the administration of the supreme justice, sometimes this kind of violence are permitted. There is no sin for that. There is no wrong in doing that. So Prabhupada then gives a beautiful example to to explain, or to make this point understand. A surgical operation is not meant to kill the patient but to cure him, correct? So if a doctor is performing a surgery, that surgery is not to kill that patient, it is actually to cure, correct? So in the surgery, he is using a knife. He is using a knife. He is like a weapon, we can say. He is using a knife to cure actually, but not to kill that person. Therefore, the fighting to be executed by Arjuna at the instruction of Krishna is with full knowledge, so there is no possibility of sinful reaction. So already we discussed in the first chapter all this, but again Prabhupada is mentioning that there is no sin for Arjuna, and it's like a surgical operation for the benefit to establish the dharma. So nothing wrong in performing, or nothing wrong in doing, or participating in this war. And if we are killing somebody, it is for the supreme justice. That's the point. Okay, so let's go ahead. 22. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grihnati naroparani. Oh, sorry. Naroparani. You can follow me. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya.
वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
Navani grihnati naroparani.
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
Tada sharirani vihaya jirnani.
तदा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि
Anyani samyati navani dehi.
अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. Translation: As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones. The soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful example. Krishna is giving an example also how the soul is changing the bodies. So he is giving an example. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya. Krishna is saying that as a person gives up the old garments, navani grihnati naroparani, and accept new garments, tata. Similarly, sharirani vihaya jirnani. Similarly, the soul gives up the old and useless bodies, anyani samyati navani dehi, and attains new bodies. This is what is happening. This is the again nature of the soul. So it is like changing the clothes. If the clothes are old, we change the clothes, right? Similarly, when the body is old, then soul is changing the body. This is what is happening. And we have already seen the 6 transformation in the body. We have already discussed in the previous verse. And Prabhupada quotes here from Mundaka Upanishad in the purport. Mundaka Upanishad and Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Samane vrikshe purusho nimagno Nishaya shochati muhyamanaha jushtam yada pashyati anyamisham asya mahimanam iti vita shokaha. So he is basically speaking, what is the meaning is here, 2 birds are in the same tree. So basically Krishna is speaking about the science, or we can say he is speaking about the soul and the super soul basically. So Krishna is saying this verse that we are changing the body, or in the sense soul changes the body when it is old, but soul is not going through any transformation, right, which we have already discussed, and soul is present, or we can say soul is present in the body, and also there is a super soul also next to that. So he is explaining here the presence of soul and super soul in all of us, all the living entities. So soul is our identity, super soul is nothing but Paramatma or Krishna. And this particular verse from Mundaka Upanishad gives an idea, or giving an analogy to explain the soul and super soul. So although the 2 birds are in the same tree, the eating bird is fully engrossed with anxiety and moroseness as the enjoyer of the fruits of the tree, but if in some way or the other he turns his face to his friend, Lord and his glories, at once the suffering birds becomes free from all anxieties. So here the 2 birds are compared to, it's mentioned 2 birds in the same tree, right? So it is mentioned in different words in, again from Shvetashvatara Upanishad, that one bird is like, it's compared to soul and super soul basically, or soul and Paramatma. So one bird is soul, one bird is super soul, and one bird which is soul, which is all of us, we are going through different, like soul in the sense, soul with the body, by the way. Soul is, when it is in the material world, soul will accept a material body. In the spiritual world, there is no material body. And there is no difference between soul and body in the spiritual world. This also we have to remember, we have to understand. See, there is difference between body and the soul in this material world. But there is no difference between soul and the body in the spiritual world, because there is no material body there. Everything is spiritual. And also, we can, and Paramatma also, we can say, in this material world, when this, because soul to exist in the material world, or not exist in the sense, exist, it's always existing, but to, go through the whatever, we are in the material world, for the existence part, or we can say, soul accepts a body, and through the body, things are happening, right? And for the body, for the soul to be functional, Paramatma is required, super soul is required. So that is why in each and every living entity there is super soul also. Means Paramatma is there, Krishna is there. So with the presence of super soul, the soul is active, and all the things what is happening in this world is, or whatever we are doing or anything, everything is happening because of the presence of super soul. So soul is getting charged by super soul, we can say something like that. Anyway, so point is that when we are in the spiritual world, there is no distinction between soul and the body like what we see here in this material world. Here we are seeing there is a distinction. Body is something different, soul is different, and body will perish, soul will not perish. But in the spiritual world, no difference between body and soul. So there is no actual concept of, we don't differentiate between soul and super soul, so soul and body. So there is no, we can say that that concept is prevailing in this material world. Secondly, super soul also, we see Krishna as Paramatma is required in each and every living entity, in each and every atom also. We have mentioned anything to exist, the super soul is required, anything to exist. So even in the Jada Vastus, even in the non-moving things, Krishna is present as super soul, as Paramatma. That is why this is existing. Otherwise, this does not exist. So all these, the role of Paramatma, everything comes in this material world actually, because to facilitate the Jivatma and and to facilitate the functions of this world actually, Paramatma is present everywhere. And there are so many desires for the jivas, all of us, living entities, and to fulfill that desires, soul is accepting different bodies basically, and all these desires are in the subtle body, like that. So it is that is the understanding of soul, super soul, and material body. The soul accepts a material body according to the desires which is present in the subtle body mind, and soul will facilitate, because if no presence of soul means no desires, desires cannot be fulfilled. So soul is facilitating by accepting a body, super soul is also helping to fulfill that desire, whatever desires we have. So it can be good desire, bad desire, whatever. That is what, even a person, if a thief, he wants to steal something, he has to be sanctioned by the super soul. He has to be sanctioned by the Paramatma. Without the sanction of Krishna, nothing will happen. So that doesn't mean that Krishna, we should not think that Krishna is not stopping the thief to steal. It is not like that. So Krishna is instructing and giving all the, he has already given do's and don'ts and everything. So we know, so everything is there in this world, all the facilities, all the information, all the knowledge is available, but still the person out of his desire wants to steal, then we cannot blame Krishna. Krishna as Paramatma, it is the duty, the role of Paramatma to sanction all the activities for the living entities. So it's that's one of the role of Paramatma, to sanction it. Upadrishta, Anumanta, this is the two roles. And the Upadrishta means witnessing it and will note down all the karmas, or all the, whatever we are doing, Krishna knows, our past, present, future. Everything has been Upadrishta, means it's been witnessed. And secondly, Anumanta means sanction. So he is sanctioning the things. That's why, that is how we are able to do some activities or anything in this world. So that role, so Paramatma has a role to play here. Similarly, Paramatma has to be with the soul, has to be with the Jivatma, and facilitating the Jivatma, helping the Jivatma, and also, so everything is happening because of the presence of super soul. But the same concept, if we go to the spiritual world, there is no distinction between soul and body, first thing. Secondly, Paramatma, there is no role like Paramatma sitting here, Anumanda, Upadrishta, Anumanda, such kind of thing is not there, because there it is everything spiritual. So everything is spiritual, and we are seeing the original Paramatma there as Krishna. So what is the need of somebody who has to sit inside and guide us? The person is there right in front of us. So the role of Paramatma is more, or is prevalent in this material world. In the spiritual world, Paramatma and Krishna is same. Here it's actually like he is like expanding himself and becoming a Paramatma and present in all the living entities, basically to facilitate the maintenance of that particular body, or to fulfill the desire, or whatever, like that. So that's the difference. So there is a difference. We need to understand these points actually. Okay. So why Prabhupada has quoted this verse in this sloka in the purport? Because he's saying that he speaks about two birds. So I already explained, one bird is Paramatma, one bird is Jivatma, and eating bird means the soul, or we can say Jivatma. He is fully engrossed with anxiety and moroseness. See, we should understand this. Please don't think that soul is undergoing anxiety and moroseness. Actually, soul with the body, basically. So body is going through it, but soul is part of it. That's all. But soul itself, if we see, is not affected. But when it comes with the whole package, we are going through. For example, all of us are going through problems. All of us are going through anxieties. So if we ask us, are we this body, or are you this body, or are you spirit soul? We say spirit soul. Okay, theoretically we say, but we are going through the problems and all, because we have the body. Still we have the gross body, right? So nothing has been. So as long as we are having the gross body, we'll be going through the problem. So whenever we see some places in the Shastras, soul is going through the anxiety, doesn't mean that soul, only soul is going through, or we can say soul along with the body. So soul is not affecting, but body is affecting. Body does not have any existence without the soul. That is why it is mentioned soul is going through it. So, but please don't misunderstand that soul go through the problems, because we are studying again Bhagavad Gita here and different places that soul is aloof from everything, soul is not getting affected. But then how it goes through anxiety? But it is in contact with the body. So as soul is not going through the anxieties, but the body is going through the anxieties, and these anxieties we are feeling through the subtle body actually. So everything is happening in the subtle body. So it's a complete package. So that's the thing. That's how we can understand. Okay. Okay. So the complete package, which includes the gross body, subtle body, and the soul, is going through the anxiety and moroseness, basically we can say. And the enjoyer of the fruits of the tree. So enjoyer of the fruits of the tree means this, like all of us, or we can say the soul with the body, subtle and gross body, is going through the anxieties, and also is enjoying also, in the sense if there is happiness, he is enjoying. So like that. So this is eating bird. Eating bird means all of us, or living entities. And there is witnessing bird. That witnessing bird we already discussed, that is Paramatma. So Prabhupada is mentioning, this verse is saying that if some way or the other he turns, the eating bird is turning the face to the friend, which is the second bird, which is the witness bird, which is Paramatma. So if one is turning his face to his friend, which is the Lord or Paramatma, and knows his glories, at once the suffering bird becomes free from all anxieties. So that means when we turn towards Krishna, all the problems, we will be free from all the problems or anxieties. That's the point. The whole purpose of this verse, verse is explaining that in terms of two birds or Atma Paramatma, the verse is explaining or giving this understanding that when we, living entities, turns towards Krishna, we will be free from all anxieties. When we try to, go away from him, then we are facing problems. So when we are connected with Krishna, the problems will come in our life. We are not saying that problems will not come. Problems might come, may not come also. If it is coming, but we will not be going through anxieties like ordinary people. We will be able to tolerate it. We will be able to go through the situation peacefully, nicely. So that power we will get from Krishna. So when we turns towards Krishna, when we turns away from Krishna, the problems will come. It is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Surya Sama Mayara Andhakara Jaha Krishna Tahanai Mayara Adhikar. Means wherever there is sun, there is no question of darkness. Correct? If there is sun means there is no darkness. Similarly, when we are turning towards Krishna, then the Maya cannot catch us. But when we are going away from Krishna, Maya can catch us. That's the point. So when we turn towards Krishna, we are safe. When we are going away from Krishna, Maya will catch us. In the sense, we will be caught in this world. We will be, going through all the senses. We'll run for satisfying our senses, and we will be going through so many karma bandhana bondages in this world. We will be completely stuck here. Will not be able to get out of this material world. But when we start turning towards Krishna, Krishna will help us to, cut all these knots or bondages of this world, and gradually will elevate us and take us to the spiritual world. Yeah? So like that. Okay. So I think we can stop here. We'll continue tomorrow, the remaining verses. So we'll stop at 22. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Bhagavad Gita ki jai.